Welcome everyone to the INFAPORT Psychology channel. Today we have a topic about which you can make a TV series, write a novel, or even a whole saga. Why do men leave relationships? Have you ever wondered why all of a sudden everything is going well, like a speeding train, and then it slows down at all the stations and eventually rides off into the sunset without you? We seemed to communicate normally and there were no serious problems. Well, except that sometimes I couldn't find my socks. But something went wrong. Stay tuned and we'll reveal these hidden reasons that make men lose steam and women lose sleep. We will analyze 15 reasons that are not usually discussed out loud, but which, as luck would have it, affect many. Are you ready to find out the truth? Oh, and don't forget to subscribe. There's a lot of useful stuff ahead. Let's tell you how to decipher these male secrets and build a relationship stronger than the foundation of a monolithic building. So, ladies and gentlemen, the number one reason why men leave is, oddly enough, emotional. Yes, you heard that right. Emotions play a key role in relationships, and their absence can be a real problem. When a man does not feel an emotional connection, he begins to feel isolated and lonely. It's as if you were living in the same house, but in different rooms, with no way to communicate. An emotional connection is like the internet. If it is not there, then the relationship starts to slow down, like the internet in a summer cottage village. Imagine that you are trying to watch your favorite TV series, but the video keeps freezing. Annoying, right? The same thing happens in relationships. Without an emotional connection, everything starts to stall. A man feels that he is not understood, that his emotions and experiences go unnoticed. When a man feels like he is in a relationship like in a bunker, alone, with no connection to the outside world, no warmth and understanding, he starts looking for that very Wi-Fi elsewhere. He may start looking for comfort and understanding from friends, co-workers, or even in new acquaintances. This does not mean that he will leave immediately, but a crack in the relationship has already appeared. And then you wonder, Igor, why did you go to Svetka? She even has a private Instagram. It's not that Svetka has a private Instagram, but that she was able to give him what was missing in your relationship: emotional support and understanding. Men, like women, need to be listened to and understood. It is important for a man to feel that he is understood, that he is not alone with his problems like a lion in a zoo. When he feels that he is supported, that his emotions are important, he becomes more open and willing to share his experiences. This strengthens the relationship and makes it more durable. He needs to be listened to not only during a soccer game, and his opinion to be valued as much as a new car. It is important that he feels that his words and feelings matter, that his opinion is respected and valued. This creates an atmosphere of trust and mutual understanding, which is the basis for a strong relationship. So, dear ladies, if you want to keep a man, don't forget about the emotional connection. It is not just words, it is a real necessity. Support him, listen to him, take an interest in his affairs and worries. Show that you care about what is going on in his life. It's like borscht. You need to cook it with soul. If you put your soul into a relationship, it will be strong and tasty, like borscht. Do not forget that relationships require constant attention and care. This is not a one-time effort, but constant work. Otherwise, your man will go where the borscht tastes better and the hostess is heartier. Do not give him a reason to look for an emotional connection on the side. Be attentive to his feelings and needs, and your relationship will be strong and happy. Moving on to the next reason why men run away from relationships faster than fans from a losing match. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is pressure and expectations. Imagine, you bought a beautiful cage with shiny bars, with a mirror, with a swing. You put a parrot in there and expect it to happily sing songs and amaze you with tricks. And he, ungrateful, pecks at the bars and dreams of flying away to freedom. That's how a man feels in a relationship where he's pressured by expectations like an elevator button at rush hour. Why aren't you earning like our neighbor? Why can't you fix a faucet like my dad? Why don't you wear shirts like that actor on the show? Sound familiar, ladies? My friends, freedom for a man is like a good, comfortable car. It gives a feeling of control, independence, and the ability to choose your own path. When you are driving, you feel like the whole world is open to you and you can go anywhere. You can drive it wherever you want, whenever you want, with whomever you want. Well, almost. Of course there are limitations, as in life, but the very idea of freedom is what makes a man happy. It's true that you can't talk to a car like you would to a loved one, but with freedom, it's easy. Freedom is not only physical movement, but also the ability to be yourself, to express your thoughts and feelings without fear of condemnation. But sometimes, in a relationship, that freedom starts to turn into something like plush handcuffs. It seems both soft and pleasant, but it is still restricting. It feels soft and nice, but your hands are tied. You feel like you can't do what you want, when you want. It may be a small thing, but over time these little things accumulate, and you can no longer spontaneously go fishing with your friends at 4 in the morning. It doesn't seem like a big deal, but this little restriction is starting to weigh on you. Or take up a hobby, such as collecting figurines of Soviet cosmonauts. A hobby is an important part of life that helps you relax and get away from everyday worries. Because you need to be at home, watch a melodrama, and discuss the relationships of the main characters. Of course, this is also important, but sometimes you just want to be alone with yourself or do something of your own. So our hero sits in this cage of pillows and blankets, stares at the screen and thinks, maybe, what the hell, this show? Maybe it's better to do something that brings me joy and satisfaction? I'd rather be on the lake with Yura and Tolyan right now. These moments when you can be yourself are very important for inner balance and happiness. In general, dear ladies, remember that freedom for a man is sacred. It is not just a whim or caprice. It is a necessity for mental health and harmony. Well, almost holy. Almost. Of course, there are always compromises in a relationship, but it's important to find a balance so that everyone feels comfortable. And if you want your man to be happy, do not try to deprive him of this very freedom. Give him space for self-expression and personal time. Give him the opportunity to be himself sometimes, do his own thing, meet with friends. This will not only strengthen your relationship, but also make it more harmonious. Believe me, it will only make your relationship stronger. When each partner feels free and respected, it creates a strong foundation for a long and happy relationship. Freedom is not love's enemy, but its ally. It allows each of us to be the best version of ourselves, which ultimately makes us happier and more fulfilled in relationships. So, dear ladies, don't be afraid to give your men freedom. It does not mean that they love you less. On the contrary, it shows that you trust them and respect their privacy. And remember that freedom is not just for men. Women need personal space and time for themselves too. Mutual respect and understanding is what makes a relationship truly strong and happy. So let's value each other's freedom and build relationships on trust and respect. After all, this is the only way to create a truly happy and harmonious life together. Do you know, my dears, what a man needs to be completely happy? No, not what you just thought. Though, of course, that's important too. But today it's about recognition. Yes, men, just like women, crave attention and praise. After all, each of them is a real hero at heart. Beat the traffic on the way home. Hero. Nailed the shelf the first time. Hero. Taking out the trash. Well, there is no comment. A real superhero. And just imagine, our hero performed a feat, and no one noticed him. Not a word of approval, not a grateful look. Sad, isn't it? That's when a man starts to feel unappreciated, like the knight who killed the dragon and they didn't even give him a medal. And everything is so simple. A little affection, a couple of kind words, and your hero is ready for exploits again. He'll move mountains, he'll get a star from the sky. Well, or at least he'll wash the dishes and cook dinner, which, you'll agree, is also quite a lot. At the beginning of a relationship, we often see the world through rose-colored glasses. Everything seems perfect, and we don't notice small flaws. We enjoy every moment we spend together and believe that it will always be like this. The partner seems perfect. Their habits are nice, and their life goals coincide with ours. We think we have found our soulmate, with whom we will walk through life hand in hand. But time passes, the rose-colored glasses are knocked against everyday life, and we begin to notice that we are out of step in life. Suddenly it turns out that we have different views on important things, and this begins to cause tension. He dreams of a house in the country and a vegetable garden, while she dreams of a career and traveling. These differences may seem insignificant in the beginning, but over time they become more and more tangible. He likes to spend weekends on the couch with the remote control in his hands, while she likes to dance until the morning and go to exhibitions. These differences in preferences can lead to the couple spending less and less time together. And now two roads that once seemed to be one are diverging in different directions. We begin to feel that our paths are diverging, and this causes anxiety and uncertainty about the future. It's like two ships that have left the same port, but are heading for different shores. We can try to keep the relationship afloat, but if our goals and values are too different, it becomes more and more difficult. And the farther apart they are, the harder it is for them to see the lights on the masts, to hear the voices in the silence of the night. We begin to feel more and more lonely, even when we are close to our partner. Different goals and values are like a reef on which even the strongest love can break. If we cannot find common ground and compromise, our relationship can be jeopardized. It is important to remember that relationships are not only about passion and romance, but also about a shared journey. It is work that requires effort and mutual understanding. We must be prepared to compromise and seek common goals. And for this path to lead to happiness, we need to walk along it in the same direction, holding hands and supporting each other. Only in this way we can overcome all difficulties and keep our relationship strong and happy. It is important not only to love each other, but also to respect, understand, and support each other. After all, only together we can achieve harmony and happiness in our relationships. Friends, you know those guys who always know how to live your life better than you do? That's the relationship they're masters of. They're all mercenary women. A real man shouldn't. The list is endless, like the NTV series Trace. And so, the poor man is torn between wanting to be happy with you and fear of being the laughingstock of his expert friends. And friends, they're like parrots. They repeat the same thing until you believe it. They say you should break up with your exes nicely. But my dears, sometimes a breakup is more like a train wreck that takes a long time to put back together. And now, it seems our hero is ready for a relationship again, but deep down, there is fear. Fear of repeating mistakes, fear of getting burned again, fear that everything will end just as painfully. Ah, freedom. A sweet word for any man. Freedom to do what you want, when you want, and with whom you want. No reports, no obligations. No, you're not listening to me. Beautiful. But here you appear on the horizon, beautiful and unique, and our hero starts thrashing around like a caged tiger. On the one hand, coveted love, on the other, the risk of losing your precious freedom. So, my dears, let's continue to understand why these mysterious creatures, men, decide to leave the cozy nest of relationships. The ninth reason, and it, believe me, can turn a man's life into a Hollywood blockbuster, where he is the main character trying to jump over a burning car to defuse a bomb. Why? Because he's afraid of not meeting your expectations. Imagine, you lovely ladies have painted yourselves the perfect picture. Your man is a mix of Brad Pitt with the charisma of Gagarin and a bank account like Elon Musk. And here he is, your Romeo, trying his best, pulling up English on audio lessons, is trying to conquer space in an old 9, and the bank account's still showing 3 zeros after the decimal point. Feeling the strain? Now he feels it too. The fear of not meeting your expectations, my dears, is like that annoying mosquito on a summer night, buzzing, disturbing your sleep, and could end up running, heels blazing, in an unknown direction. My friends, get ready. Now we're going to talk about the insidious world of media and social media. Yes, you heard me. These insidious seducers can turn any man's life into an endless pursuit of the ideal, which, like a mirage in the desert, beckons, but always remains unattainable. Imagine him scrolling through his Instagram feed, and it's all alpha males with abs, climbing the summit of Kilimanjaro with one hand, while the other is gently embracing tanned hotties on white yachts. A perfect life, would you say? It's not. It's just a pretty picture, which often hides a boring reality. But how to explain it to our hero, who was already starting to feel self-conscious about not having a yacht and a personal surf instructor? So, my dears, we've gotten to the 12th reason why men sometimes disappear from women's lives like Wi-Fi signals on the subway. It's about the fear of loss of privacy. Yeah, you're not imagining it. These brutal men, who from the looks of it seem indestructible, like a rock, in the soul can be vulnerable and reverent, like a mimosa. Imagine he's a lone wolf, free as the wind in the field, used to living by his own rules and schedule. Suddenly you appear in his life, beautiful, caring, but with a desire to spend every free minute together. How does our wolf feel? That's right, he's getting nervous. After all, for him, personal space is not just a corner in the apartment where he can throw socks around and play tanks. It's his comfort zone where he can be himself without fear of appearing weak or vulnerable. You know, there's a deadline burning blue, and the boss is breathing down my neck. And then there's a relationship that needs attention. And so, the man is like a squirrel in a wheel, running between work and utility bills and trying to remember what your great aunt's birthday is today. That, my friends, is not a romantic situation. It would not burn at work like overcooked kebab on May holidays. So, lovely ladies, if you see your man stressed out about work, don't be in a hurry to nag him for forgetting his trash. It is better to make him a fragrant tea with chamomile and relax yourself. We are used to seeing men as strong, confident, real superheroes. But my friends, even superheroes have their Achilles heel. And it often turns out to be a fear of being vulnerable. Because what is vulnerability? It's an opportunity to show your true feelings, to take off the mask of the impenetrable macho man, and allow yourself to just be human. And this, you must agree, for many men is scarier than a parachute jump, or meeting your mom after he accidentally broke her favorite vase. My friends, remember when we used to play silence when we were kids? That's the game in relationships, only the stakes are higher than a bucket and scoop. Lack of communication is like rust for a relationship. At first it's unnoticeable, and then bam, there's a hole right through. Hey, love. Sometimes it turns into a detective series where everyone suspects each other and weaves intrigue. Blackmail in a relationship is like playing with fire. You can, of course, get warm, but there's a risk of getting burned. If you leave, I'll tell all your friends that you sleep in your pajamas with Winnie the Pooh. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Well, my dears, here we have reached the finale of our fascinating journey into the world of men's fears. Of course, all of these fears and reasons we've talked about can be overcome. The key is to remember that relationships are like the tango. One dances and the other steps on your toes. I'm kidding, of course. Relationships are a work in progress and they need to be worked on together. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel INFAPORTPSYCHOLOGY. Like and share this video with your friends. Let them learn how they too can avoid these hidden causes and keep the relationship strong. And if you're still afraid he'll leave, well, at least with our channel, you'll always have a plan B. Subscribe, we won't let you stay in the dark.